It's recording now. I've just been talking to myself for the past 5 minutes and it's not been recorded. Let's start again, shall we? This is the video response to NES Nutter's 10 gaming questions. I'm trying to be quiet because it's now 1:30 in the morning. Everyone's asleep and I should be asleep, really. Question 1. Game you got most angry playing? There's no particular game, but when I was younger I used to get very angry at games. And I remember the exact day. I don't remember the date, but I remember the exact day I actually stopped getting angry at games. Basically, when I was younger, if you had a portable television in your room, you were lucky, but they were always black and white because colour televisions at the time were very expensive. This is probably the late 80s, very early 90s. I think it's more late 80s. But one year, after quite a lot of nagging, my mum and dad got me a colour television for Christmas. It was a Sony television. It's a very good television, actually. Colour television. And I think one day I just got angry at a game I used to do, and I hit the screen. I usually hit the screen and withdraw, just get bumped from the screen. But this time I actually followed through. I was that annoyed. I followed through with a punch, shouted bastard. The television fell on the floor. I was devastated because I thought I broke the television. It was a very expensive television. Remember, those days it was very expensive. So I was worried that I broke my television, and I got in trouble obviously for shouting bastard. And that was basically the day I stopped getting angry. And since then, I don't get angry anymore, to be honest. Emulation, yes or no? Personally, no. I want to play stuff on the original hardware. I've given emulation a go. One of my favourite games of all time is Zelda Ocarina of Time. I tried to play it on emulation, it just wasn't the same. So, you can probably get the gist of a game, but to be honest, if you think a game is slightly okay emulation, you probably find it's actually very, very good on the real hardware. When you was young, where did you go to buy video games? Now, when I was younger, they were called computer games. This American term of video games. It could have been anywhere. When I was younger, news agents would sell computer games. They'd have a little section of Commodore 64 games because they cost $1.99, 99p, £1, £2. Do you know what I mean? They were very, very cheap. But there were two places. When games got more expensive in the 60p area, there was a little shop called Games to Go, which did the first trading thing. I did like a category for games, like A, B, and C, and there were games category A. And basically brought in a category B game. It cost like £5 to get a category A. It was very good, actually, I must say. I didn't go that often. I went there a couple of times and I traded a couple of games in. Literally one or two, but my friends did a lot. But there was it's mostly independent game shops I went to. There's a very good one in the town. It's not there now because most independent game shops are gone. But to show the difference in the service, I remember getting, it was NASCAR racing for the PC, and it was out on CD and it was out on floppy disk, and I bought the floppy disk version because it was about £3 cheaper. I did have a CD drive. Again, at the time, having a CD drive in your PC was actually quite a bit of a luxury. And the game didn't work. It just kept erroring. And I told my dad, and he actually went to the shop. He said, look, it doesn't work, can we have it swapped out? And the chap was actually very, very apologetic. And he said, tell you what, another £2, I'll let you have the CD version, but I haven't got any in. And the guy actually got it in. I think he got it in stock literally, like delivery came in later that day. He actually got it in stock at 5:30 or 5 o'clock that afternoon that Saturday. And he actually came to our house to give it to us. You don't get that service anymore. So I think it's a bit of a shame, to be honest. So really, yeah, it was local independent stores. Really, wasn't really anything major. Favourite looking console up to now. For me, it's the Mega Drive, Mark 1 Mega Drive. To me, it's just it just has all the features what you should expect of a console. I mean, yeah, basically, yeah. It's just for me, it's the pinnacle for what console sort of like. Favourite gaming era? There's a few, but there's one era. Changing this question, it's my favourite. I think it's a wasted era. The PlayStation 1 era and the Sega Saturn era, I think that is actually a wasted era because they weren't ready for 3D. Sorry for spitting there. I had a good PC at the time. I was, again, quite lucky. And I remember the 3D graphics coming out on these PlayStation 1 games and Saturn games, and they were piss poor compared to what the Xbox, compared to what PC was doing at the time. And people said, look at these 3D graphics on this, and I was like, yeah, I'm running that other 800 by 600, or sometimes 1024 by 768. I'm running it like high res, and you got this shitty thing. Like I said, they're not good. Those graphics are not good. But when you see the 2D graphics these machines can pull out, they're absolutely beautiful. And I think they were both wasted doing 3D because they weren't good. They don't look good now, and personally, I don't think they look good at the time. But favourite one, it would be the NES, the SNES, and the Mega Drive. It's just basically where gaming went up a notch from bedroom people who made very, very good games to actually making teams and having like full production behind it. So me, it was the Mega Drive and the SNES era, to be honest. If Next Gen went download only, would you buy the system? I was actually one of the people who thought the Xbox One ideals were very interesting, because people said when you found out about the download a bit and having to be online, the reason it had to be online is to make sure that you actually did own the downloadable games, because you could actually trade them. It was, a bit of a convoluted way of doing it, but you could actually trade the games. And one of the features which people completely ignored is you could share your game with 10 friends. So I could buy, I don't know, let's say the latest Mass Effect. I could buy Mass Effect 4, and the 10 friends who I share games with, one of them can play that game at any time they wanted. They can say, Stuart's got that game, I'm going to play it because nobody else is playing it at the moment. So if you had to talk between your friends, you didn't have to buy half as many games as you want. You'd say to me, are you going to buy that game? You buy that game, I'll buy the other, and we'll just share it over the internet. That's really hard. I'll have to look at the model behind it. Steam works because they've got the cheap prices. But what I've seen of downloadable only games or downloadable games on Xbox 360, they're stupidly expensive, way overpriced. So depends on the games, depends on the console, and depends on the costs about the download only. Your favourite video game character? You mean computer game character? Easy, Sonic. Love him. There you go. A game series you've always hated? I've never really hated any game series, but I don't get Super Mario. I've never got Super Mario. Disc only, boxed and complete. When I started getting back into retro stuff, I didn't have any preference. I didn't want to become a collector who just hoards games. Always looking for the best quality and stuff and just stick them on the shelf and never play it. I didn't want to do that. But I'm finding myself, particularly Mega Drive games, because that was my system when I was younger. I'm finding that I want them complete. So probably at least boxed, preferably complete for that one. Someone's broken into your house and you only grab one object within 2 meter radius to attack it. What would you use? Either the original Xbox that weighs a ton, or give me a second. I'm all tangled up in wires here. Oh. There you go. My lens. Yeah, I think you got to swing on that, so I think probably my camera lens. So there you go. I think I answered all 10 questions. I can't remember if I have or not. I think I read them all in order. So there's my answers. Again, thanks for watching, and I hope to have a video up soon.